This demo relates to the GSP 270 lab activity, Fun with Projections. The instructions are located on the Humboldt State Geospatial online website. I'll post a link to the instructions in the video description. On the instructions page, there are two videos by Dr. Jim Graham. The first video walks you through how to install the Blue Spray software on your computer and provides an overview of the software interface and features. The second video covers many of the steps you will need to perform during this lab activity. I recommend that you watch both videos before you begin this activity. For this demo, I'm going to assume you have installed the Blue Spray software and are ready to begin step 1 of the activity. With Blue Spray open, I will start by launching the Projection Explorer. This opens a separate window, which I'll resize here to fit on screen. If your map is not centered after resizing, you can click the Update button on the lower left. Right now, I'm looking at the ADOF projection. I can tell because the name of the projection is located next to the drop-down menu that says Method here on the left. In order to see the entire map without any distortion limitations, you have to uncheck the boxes on the lower left that say Allow distances from, Allow areas from, and Allow angles from. Once you uncheck the boxes, click the Update button. If you click the question mark button at the bottom, an HTML file opens with some help documentation about the Projection Explorer. Take a moment to read through it before continuing. Okay, so now I am on step 5 of the instructions on the Humboldt State Geospatial online website. For future reference, these numbers sometimes change. Back in Blue Spray, you are going to change the projection to Mercator 1SP. Use the drop-down menu to choose the projection and click Update. Areas in red have a high amount of distortion, and areas in green have a low amount of distortion. The Mercator projection is the one used by Google Maps. The Mercator is good for maintaining the shape of the continents, but it exaggerates areas pretty bad. Uncheck the distortion types across the top and leave only the areas checked. On the lower left, change the cell width from 10 to 3 and click Update. As you can see, the boundaries between the distorted areas look smoother. You can see more detailed regions of distortion when you use a smaller cell size. However, it does use more memory. Next, you will limit the amount of distortion the map will display. Check the box next to Allow Areas From and set it from 0 to 2. Click Update. What you have just done is to tell Blue Spray not to show any areas that have been distorted more than double the actual size on Earth. Take a look at this distortion pattern. Along the equator, the areas will be pretty close to actual size. As you move away from the equator, the sizes of the continents are being exaggerated. If you take a look at Northern California, Oregon, and Washington, those areas are actually close to double the actual size on Earth when you use the Mercator projection. This is because with the Mercator projection, everything is getting stretched as you go north. One of the questions in the activity is, approximately, what is the maximum distortion in Google Maps? Open a browser and navigate to Google Maps. Type in Greenwich, United Kingdom. Then zoom out as far as the map will go. To answer this question, we want Blue Spray to have about the same cutoff in Greenland and Antarctica. Back in Blue Spray, change the settings so that it will show areas up to 50 times the actual size on Earth. Go to Allow Areas From and change the 2 to 50. Hit Update to apply the changes. Let's compare that with Google Maps. To reset the zoom, click the magnifier on the search bar, then zoom out again. That looks pretty close. Take a few moments to try different distortion ranges. It should be somewhere between 50 and 200. Let's look at a different projection. Change the projection to Albersconic Area. Choose the projection from the Method dropdown and then click Update. Based on the name, you can probably tell this projection is based on a conical surface, and it is used to preserve areas. As you can see in the Projection Explorer, everything is green, which means there is little to no area distortion. However, there are other types of distortion. Look at the appearance of the continents. Near the edges, it looks like the distances are getting distorted. In Blue Spray, the horizontal distortion is displayed using the parallels, and the vertical distortion is displayed using the meridians. Uncheck areas and check the parallels box at the top. You may need to also turn on the bounds box to see the map. It looks like the distances are not too bad. It's just when you get to the far north and far south that the lines turn yellow then red. Red means the distances are stretched, meaning they get longer than the actual distance on Earth. Turn off the parallels and turn on the meridians. Again, in the center the lines are green. When you get to the far north and south, the lines go from green to blue, then to purple. Purple means the distances are compressed, meaning they are shorter than the actual distance on Earth. Turn the areas back on and uncheck the Allow Areas From box. Take a look at the Transverse Mercator Projection. If you will recall from previous coursework, the Transverse Mercator Projection is the Mercator flipped on its side. It's used in conjunction with the Universal Transverse Mercator, or UTM, coordinate system. The UTM coordinate system divides the Earth into sections that are 6 degrees longitude wide. As you can see, one of the reasons for this is that the Transverse Mercator does not work very well with areas that are wider than 6 degrees. In blue spray, limit the area distortion to 2 times the actual area on Earth. Check the box next to Allow Areas From and set it from 0 to 2. Click Update. Take a moment to look at the distortion pattern. If you look at just the areas, there is little to no distortion along the center in a north-south direction. As you move east or west, you get more distortion. Turn off area distortion and go ahead and check the other distortion types. It looks like this projection is really good at preserving distances and angles. Now let's narrow the slice by limiting the distortion to only 10% of the actual area on Earth. Change the range for Allow Areas From to 1.1. At the moment, the map is centered on Greenwich, which is 0 degrees longitude. You can rotate the map so that it is centered on Humboldt County by changing the longitude from 0 to -124. Changing both longitude and latitude allows you to recenter the map on different parts of the Earth. In the next video, I will show you how to quantify distortion.